finally made it to Vegas, and I have a very special guest joining me. Oh, John Cullen. Welcome to the United States, and welcome to Las Vegas Boulevard. We're here outside the Mandalay Bay, John. What do you think?
I think there's surveillance cameras at every inch as I'm looking around. So we're being surveilled, and we got a lot of walking to do and a lot of stuff to see. So
yeah, let's start walking. We got a little bit of a, let me just hear you talk a second.
I think we got to figure out which way we want to walk. Why don't we walk first down to the Four Seasons Drive? Let's take a look down there, and then we'll head back up towards the venue and the tanks and the Luxor and all that. But right now, we're right in front of Mandalay Bay. And this is the first time I have been in Las Vegas in, 10 years. And the first time I've been here since the shooting.
This is the venue right here across the way. Why don't we walk over there and look at that?
Okay, let's do it.
Where do we
see which way we can cross.
It's beautiful light right now. But this is another one of America's non-pedestrian friendly cities. Walking around Las Vegas is a substantial pain in the ass. But here we are, John. I mean, you've studied this thing so much online.
Here we go. Let's get across the street if we can.
Yep. Look at that, 30 seconds to cross. It's a huge.
So these are the supports for what was going to be that big Ferris wheel thing?
I'm not sure, but
yeah, that's what
stopped construction.
Right, but that's what that was going to be.
And John, by the way, we should mention that just like driving around Vegas, it seems to be, of all the places I've been so far, the most coming backest of all the cities. It's
definitely alive. Yeah. It's not a ghost town. There's people here, people are partying, and it is not a ghost town.
Hey, smile. Or don't.
Yeah, I don't smile.
Well, so John, for people who maybe just started following you when coronavirus happened, you and I originally got to know each other when you were doing research into the Las Vegas shooting. October 1st of this year will be 4 years since that occurred.
That's right.
You identified evidence that indicates that there were helicopters in the air hovering between these two buildings here. Basically a fact that's been ignored by the mainstream. We've had social engineers try to, silence us from speaking about it. I've been talking about the channel getting a strike. That happens all the time. Been in this sort of semi-incapacitated profile for months. Let's take a walk here. We got the light this way.
Let's do it. 22 seconds.
We can do it. Here, try to stay on this side of me. It's easier for shooting. You got me?
What's that? Oh.
There we go. So, it doesn't look like much has happened with the venue, but you're right. There are security cameras all around it.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yep. So, for me, again, walking this venue now for the first time since the shooting, it's a very eerie feeling. Everywhere I am, like right here. This is where the police pulled over. This is where the officer was shot. It was right here. Right here. Over here, there was a hole, and they had to patch it. This had to be patched. Oh, this was hit. Watch your step, pigeons.
Yeah, I tripped over it already.
And so this is the wall that everybody was pinned behind, and they were taking fire right here.
I've actually walked this this path a few times with Joe Napoli, with Stephanie. It's a beautiful night.
Beautiful night.
This is actually a little bit dead.
Well, we're down at this end.
Is it a channel or
Down at this end, it's dead. Yeah. Once we start heading this way, it's
Well,
gonna
what
get...
do you want to do? You want to
Yeah, let's keep walking.
Tanks?
What's that?
You want to go to the tanks?
Yeah, we can go to the tanks and go around. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry. So from the room, from 32135, 32134 to this corner here, that's about 350 yards, maybe 400 yards to that window. And these guys were pinned down on this corner. Now, you see the Robinson helicopter coming in now? You see that? So they're returning from a tour. That's a Robinson. So that's probably not Maverick. They're going back somewhere else. But you see how it comes around Mandalay Bay? And this is a normal spot for these guys to be flying. It came around Mandalay Bay and it's coming back up here. If you're used to seeing helicopters here, it would be nothing out of the ordinary to see more helicopters here. This is where they fly. The municipal camera that caught the footage that I put out that features the municipal camera footage came from the top of either this light pole or that light pole. I think it's that one in the middle of the road. So the top of that pole, we have municipal camera footage showing helicopters flying on the backside of Luxor going the wrong way, going northbound, and they never go northbound back over there. And we have helicopters flying northbound from a municipal camera mounted right on that pole. And that was something I don't think they intended to release. As we walk down by the tanks, we're going to be right by where Dan Bilzerian was. Dan Bilzerian was down by these apartment buildings, and this is where he was taking cover and taking fire. Now, right now, we're on Mandalay Bay Drive, Mandalay Bay Boulevard, whatever this is called. And this is the street that's behind the stage. So the venue was, as we're walking now, on our left, and this would have been where the stage and all the buses were.
Yeah, have they
Right over
done
here.
anything with this place since then?
What do you mean anything with this place? What do you mean?
It's just been kind of fenced up and nothing happening there since the shooting.
Yeah. Can you see this?
What?
Come here.
Yeah, but that's different fence stuff than what was there 4 years ago. That's just holes in the fence.
Okay.
I mean, that's not the same material.
Okay.
Can't possibly be. I mean,
Here you
right
go.
after it happened, you'd have to go back and review the videos.
Well, this is interesting. All right. So first of all, look how low they come in. That's Maverick coming down. So you just saw Maverick come in and land, doing like a flared tail landing.
Yeah.
Right over there. But what's interesting, and I want you to see this. This is huge. I want you to follow me over here. Take a look in here.
What?
They blacktopped the entire surface.
Yeah, that's true.
The entire venue has been re-blacktopped.
Yeah, that's true.
Was that necessary?
Well, I mean, a lot of people died there. I
There's
understand.
a lot of evidence buried under that blacktop.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty interesting.
Cost a lot of money to do that. And since there's two fences and you can't get in there, was it really necessary?
Well, didn't they say they're giving it to the LVMPD or something like
yeah,
that?
they're donating it. But the locals are saying that they want it to be a memorial, not a SWAT training ground.
Right. It's a really weird place to put a SWAT training center, given that the strip is right there.
Yeah. So there's some, peekaboo holes in the fence, but the tanks are over here. Why don't we walk down to the tanks?
Yeah, sure.
Without getting
Well,
killed.
that's sort of a dangerous
yeah,
spot
let's
to
see.
cross.
Let's keep going.
There's not really too much to see on those tanks at this point, I don't think.
No, this is where Dan Bilzerian was, though. This is the Oasis, and Dan ran down here to the right. And now look how low Maverick is. Look how low they are. Look at that. So they come in like this, really, really low.
Well,
and
their
then
airport
flare.
is right over there.
Yeah, that's where they come in and land. So seeing them come in nice and low here, this way, that's what we should expect to see. That's what we should expect to see. Coming in behind Mandalay Bay, nice and low, and then they're kind of making a flare turn and bringing it in right back in here next to Signature Air, which Bill Gates just bought.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Why did he buy Signature Air?
Or he made a bigger investment. I don't know if he bought the whole thing, but he made a bigger investment in Signature Air.
What is that? Just like a private jet services company?
And you see the surveillance camera here on the venue corner. That's a night camera, multiple lenses on it. So they're watching us, watching them. So we're on camera, we're being surveilled. All right, so there's the tanks. Now the tanks, that looks a lot longer than 700 meters to me. That looks a lot further. We're going to have to remeasure this in Google Earth or Google Maps. We're going to have to double check that. That looks a lot further away than what I thought. All right. Yeah, I can tell you there is no way. There is no way. Nah.
What? No way what?
At this distance. All right, so where we're standing now, we're 300 yards away from the tanks. Okay? And we're 400, all right.
So it is
A 308 isn't going to make that shot and hit the top of that rim, the top steel, the T-iron at the top rim. There were two shots that hit the tank. One hit the middle of the tank, one hit the top rim. To get to the top rim from a shot that's coming from above at that distance, the shot is arcing and falling, and it falls the most when it's near the tank. And for it to land right under that lip, the trajectory is too tough. That shot had to have been...
Well, let's walk over to it
Yeah,
here.
that shot needed to have been made from this parking lot. And that is outrageous because there were a ton of vehicles parked here that night. A ton of vehicles.
So what? You think it wouldn't have been made from
I
the
think the
parking lot?
the shots that were taken at the tank were not taken from the Mandalay Bay. There's no way. All right, here comes a Robinson coming back from a tour right over our heads, flying right over the venue. Right over our heads. And if you look over at Excalibur, here comes some more. Now they're coming over Luxor. There's the coming right over the. So that's the typical route. The typical route, they come southbound between the Luxor, the Delano, they go behind the Delano, and then around Mandalay Bay. And if it's Maverick, they're going to head down that way. But it doesn't look like Maverick because it's not one of those Airbus helicopters with a fancy tail. Maverick has those fancy tails. This is...
those are supposed to be extra quiet.
This could be
something.
Sundance, yeah, and more expensive. This looks like it might be a Sundance helicopter, and now it'll come out from this side. There we go. Or it could, it could be anybody. Now, also from this vantage point, you can see the room at the top of the Mandalay Bay where everybody was watching everything happen. Remember, they have a some sort of a what was it called? The something room.
Oh yeah.
The Cinderella room or Princess room or whatever. At the top.
Boom room.
Yeah, at the top of the Mandalay Bay. But you can see it in the nook. So if you look up at the top, this is where that footage was shot, where they're shooting down, and you hear the gunshots very clearly. And that was right up there in the elbow at the top. And obviously the windows are all patched up. It's been years now. It's been years. So, all right, why don't we walk down by the tanks?
Yeah.
Like, so right now we're coming up to where Dan Bilzerian was taking cover literally right here behind these balusters. Right here. It's not a baluster. What's it called? A barricade or something? Barricade. So right over here, this is where Dan Bilzerian was taking cover.
What was he doing over here? He lives in the Oasis Apartments? No.
No, they were running through, ton of cars were parked here.
Right.
Ton of cars were parked here, and Dan Bilzerian comes right over here. Right here. He was either here, behind this barricade, or behind this wall at the Oasis. I think they were here behind this barricade. And we see aircraft in the background. One of them, I think, is a plane taking off that we see on the Dan Bilzerian footage, but he was taking fire. In fact, I think we have, there was aircraft up here to his right over the venue as he was here taking cover. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Let's head by the tanks.
Yeah, we're going to lose the light pretty soon. Yeah, it's funny. The first videos I was doing out here were with Jake, actually. I was like, kind of trying to befriend him.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of disappeared, huh?
I think he did what his job was to do. He did what he needed to do when he needed to do it.
Yeah, he was inserted to, manipulate the narrative there on Vegas, get everybody looking at Paddock.
Mm-hmm. Look over here, look over here.
Right?
Misdirection. Misdirection.
All right, so talk about the tanks here a little bit.
So these are the two jet fuel tanks. According to the LVMPD report, the tanks were fired at 8 times.
8 times?
6 shots missed, 2 shots hit.
Whoa, look at that.
Mm-hmm. Now, right now, this is Janet Air, by the way.
What is?
Right in front of you. This is Janet Air. This is Area 51. That's it, right here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wait, aren't those British Airways planes?
No, that's Sands. That's Las Vegas Sands. So that's Adelson stuff down there. So that's all the Las Vegas Sands jets. But this is Janet Air, right here. Right here. Remember Paradise Aviation? And remember the videopoker.com? And I was all worried that videopoker.com was a front. And it turned out that the guy owns a bunch of patents for video poker machines, and it was legit. And we looked into that. I was like, what the hell does this guy need an office right here on the runway? You remember that? Video poker?
I remember that.
Yeah.
That looks like Maverick Air right there.
Yeah. Maverick, Sundance. Yeah, they're all one big
That's
happy.
one of the Airbus ones.
Yeah.
We can just walk right over there.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see anything. I'm sure they've repainted it by now.
Yeah, it's just to get the sense of scale and size and the distance. Yeah, so this is the Janet. So everybody who works at Area 51 goes to Area 51 from here. So this is where you park your car, and this is the terminal, and they fly 90 miles north to Groom Lake. And this is it. So you can see it on Google Earth. All right, so hitting the tank at this distance is not hard to hit the tank. That's not the issue. The issue is you're trying to penetrate steel with an incendiary round at this distance, and you're going to use a 308? No way. No way. No way is a 308 incendiary going to pierce this. Now, look at that top lip. All right. See that mark up there? That's where the bullet hit. If the bullet is on a trajectory that's coming on an arc downward,
Is it this one or this other one?
it's the gist of it, meaning it hit in that location on that iron, meaning right at that location. I think it was this further tank.
Yeah, you're saying that indicates that it came from underneath going
Yeah,
up.
there's no way from this distance the round can make it underneath that lip because it's falling. It's falling rather dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, we really got to go back and look at that. I have photos of it, taken
Yeah,
like days after.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
all covered up
there's
now.
no way that shot was taken from that room. Which then
Let's go
takes
this way. We'll go over by Tropicana.
All right, so that takes us somewhere else in the conversation, which is, so then the 8 shots that were taken from 32-134 that LVMPD claims were at the tanks, and they say 6 of them missed. There's no way you can miss. There's no way,
So why did they miss?
because they didn't. The question is, why were they shooting at the tanks in the first place?
Yeah, why?
All right. I have an idea, but I could be wrong. So this is a speculative hypothesis. If you're going to try and zero in your scope at night, you might want to have something to shoot against. The incendiary round goes and it lights up when it hits something, right? It explodes. When you aim your crosshairs at something to zero in, an incendiary round at night would be really helpful because you can see where it hit and then you can zero in. So if they shot at the tanks with incendiary rounds, the thinking being that if it blows up, even better, right? But otherwise, they can zero in by shooting at the tanks, and then they can start picking people off. I believe that the shots that were in the head, we have guys walking around the killing field with the police saying, headshot. It's another headshot.
Yeah.
It's another headshot. It's straight between the eyes. I think those shots were taken from 32-134, and that those were not misses of the tanks. Now back here, this is where Melissa was killed. Back in here. Why don't we come in here, and this is where the bullet hit the garage door. So I've been, very focused on the virus and coronavirus and trying to figure out what's happening with the CDC and the reporting with the WHO, And unfortunately, the Vegas investigation, we had to move it to the back burner with so many thousands of people dying. Yeah. So she was killed around here, and then they brought her in here.
Oh yeah, that's where that.
So the video,
Surveillance footage of the helicopter.
so the video came from this office, and
Right.
there's footage of people taking shelter in here.
Right.
This is where her body was found, and they basically brought her from here. But she was shot and killed somewhere near here, right? Now you see them returning. Look at the helicopters coming in. Okay? That's the pattern. That's what they should be doing. Not going the other way. They don't go the other way. So Melissa was killed probably somewhere near here. And there was a ricochet that came over here.
That's still there. Holy cow.
All right, so from around the world,
Wow.
I can walk you right to where ricochet. I know like where
Wow.
these things are. Yeah. So now, how did this round come up? It came. All right. So now, what I would do is I'd have a trajectory rod that I would put here. All right.
That looks like it would have come from the hotel.
All right. It's coming down here. Now, the angle's coming down. Okay.
Yeah, actually, it looks like it couldn't have come from the hotel. It's coming from way more straight down towards you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Where did it skip on the pavement?
Maybe it's been repaved.
Where did it skip on the pavement?
I don't think you're going to find that.
No, I don't think so.
Looks like day is going to turn into night while we're out here.
That's all right. Here's the church. So a lot of cars were parked here. But the fact that people were taking cover and people that had been shot were back in here, and we see this distance from the hotel. Now there's more where we're headed. So more people were shot and killed up ahead. And the further we get from the hotel, the more difficult it gets to explain. You know, how did this happen? How did somebody get shot all the way up here?
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
We are pretty far.
Well, Nasa Tonks was shot all the way up here. There's a number of folks where we're heading now that were found up in here. And that's going to be here on the right. Yeah, there were folks in here. So there were victims in here, but I want to come at it from the boulevard side because that's where the video was shot and that's the perspective that I know. So the MGM Grand is straight ahead. David Copperfield's name is all over that. Looks like David Copperfield is still performing.
Yeah. He doesn't age. He's basically looked the same for the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting.
Here's the Tropicana. So this is the back side of the Tropicana. And this is where brass casings were seen. And here, this motel is abandoned.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. You would think somebody would buy that and...
And I'm wondering if this is where that eyewitness was. There was a woman that said that she saw the brass casings.
Right.
And I'm wondering if that's where she was living, because that's very
Well,
close
yeah,
to...
that was active 4 years ago, wasn't it? When did that thing get abandoned?
I don't know.
So
All right,
where are we going now?
To the right, because there were victims that were shot and killed up here. On the far
How
side
could
of
that
the
be?
street.
We're so far away
Right,
now.
well, and on the far side of the street. So first of all, in here, you have...
What is this? Exterior...
Escape? Exteriors?
What
One
is
of these
that?
escape room games where you
That
have to
is
figure
so
out...
weird. These things are suddenly everywhere.
Yeah, with COVID, I can't imagine why you'd be trapped in something.
I mean, I never heard of that, and suddenly I'm seeing them all over the place.
This one's bronzed. All right, I believe that we had shooting victims back here on this back side down here. Now, when I get back to my computer, I'll have to check the
How
footage.
could that be? How could they...
Yeah, it's back
I mean,
down
you can't
here.
even see the hotel from here.
Well, that's the point. That's what they don't want you to know. Yep. There were 2 or 3 victims back here, and the cops were guarding the bodies and didn't want anybody to see it. And then there were 2 or 3 people killed on the far side of the street over here. That's the, I forget the name of it. Let's walk across.
I think you can see the hotel from over there.
You can, but man, that's a tough shot. And you're talking
Yeah.
about at night in the dark, and people were running for their lives, right?
I mean, the guy's just spraying out the window.
Now, versus, look up. Which is more likely? Which is the more likely scenario? Can you see the hotel from there?
This is just the top of it,
Yeah.
through the trees.
Five seconds we can go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so there were victims up here, right here. 2 or 3 people were shot and killed right along here. That's not a clear shot.
Oh, definitely not.
That is not a clear shot, Jason. There is no way you can make that
Now,
shot.
you can't even see his room from... Well, you could shoot through the trees blindly.
Well, maybe they were here. Let's keep walking. Maybe the victims were here.
Yeah, now you're getting closer. Yeah. Here you could.
Man, that's a long shot.
You could, though.
You can see it, but I'm telling you, this distance is much bigger than I thought it would be. This is a much tougher shot. You know, it's one thing when we're talking about shooting from the room to the venue. I mean, now we're twice that distance away, if not more.
I'd say more.
And this is, I'm comfortable saying that anybody who was shot and killed in this vicinity was not shot from the hotel. There's no way. There's no way. I do believe people were shot and killed from the hotel now. I didn't believe that early on. I think that those 8 shots that we hear from 32-134 are going to correspond to those headshots that were seen out in the venue. So the people that were shot between the eyes, I think they were shot from room 32-134.
Did you ever find out who they are?
No, we'd have to match them up. You know, Paladin did the best job of matching up the names with the autopsies. I didn't do that. He did that, and I think he did a real good job of correlating who was what.
We got to talk to him again.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Like, I wonder, who were they? Like, was there any significance to their, beyond obviously their lives, and their families?
Very good question.
Strategic significance.
Don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's getting kind of dark.
Yeah.
But this is nice. People get to see
Well, I
Las
think
Vegas.
when we get out to the strip, I think it'll get a little brighter. Maybe we can say hello to some people and see what people think.
Sure.
Get some light. Right now we're walking in the middle of nowhere. This is where Joe Napoli saw brass shells on the ground.
Right.
We're at the back of the Tropicana, and right in this vicinity is where Joe said there were brass casings on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, how would they get there
They'd have to fall
unless
from
they
somewhere.
were shot right
Mhm.
from above? So, John, this is a special episode of Ghost Town, USA, with special guest John Cullen. And of course, on Fridays, people can see John Cullen Investigates on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen and patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, as well as Subscribestar and Patreon/CrowdSourceTheTruth. So it's great to have you back in the USA, John.
It's nice to be here. Although I will tell you, it's it's physically bizarre and emotionally challenging seeing this and walking it for the first time. It brings it all back. And I think the strangest sensation that I'm having is wherever we're walking, I'm seeing the footage from that spot. Like I'm like right now we're coming up to the Arco station, and I'm thinking of the footage from the Arco station. And the cops pull up to the Arco station, what happens here at the Arco station. So every time we're in a spot, I'm thinking of the footage from that spot. And seeing the Maverick guys flying around overhead and getting a sense of the proximity, and how close they are to the venue.
Yeah, the whole area is pretty small.
Yeah.
I mean, this is essentially a modern Dealey Plaza in that these historic, terrible events have taken place, so we can still come back here, and it's already started to evolve and change.
And I think similar to Dealey Plaza, when the first time I went to Dealey Plaza and walked Dealey Plaza, you get a much different sense of the venue.
Oh yeah.
Than the photographs that
The
you've
scale
seen.
of it.
Much different sense.
Yeah.
And again, it's the angles. It's there's just no substitute for it. At the same time, I was able to study an incredible amount of footage because I wasn't out here walking around looking for shells.
Recorded event. It's amazing how much video there was of it. The body cameras from the police, the cell phones on almost everybody.
Yeah, here's the Arco station. So Tall Ace of Spades comes walking up here to the corner. Here's another Maverick coming in. So Tall Ace of Spades walks up here. We've got cops that pull over by the Arco. They jump out of their cop cars here. We know that somebody was shot across Las Vegas Boulevard outside of the Excalibur, right by the tram. And someone was shot there. I don't think that person.
So, I mean, here's Excalibur. It's on the same side of the street as the Mandalay Bay. You could not shoot somebody there from Mandalay.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, with all the video footage that we have, we know that there's no footage of automatic gunfire coming from 32-135. There's footage of individual gunshots coming from 134, but that's a whole different story. You know,
I guess it's sunglasses at nighttime.
well, I'm not taking mine off. That's for sure. So here's a parking structure, huh?
Was that there?
Yeah. What was here?
Or is this new?
Good question. Boy, I wish I had been able to get here, you know, within 24 hours, 48 hours of the event.
I was here within a couple days, I think, or certainly a week or so. Like, yeah, there were those press conferences. That was when I met Laura and Jake and everybody. And but those press conferences were still happening. We'd go back and check those videos. It was definitely in October. Maybe it was a week after, 2 weeks after.
Now, I would have wanted to have found more spent brass casings in places like the top of this parking, you know, the parking building, right? So this is the Excalibur on the left, and there was a family staying at the Excalibur that reached out to me.
Oh, really?
After the dog walking guy's video.
Oh, wow.
And they said, hey, we're not comfortable appearing on camera, but we'd like to tell you what we saw, because we saw the video of the dog walking guy, and we've been like, can we tell anybody? How do, you know, what do we do?
So they witnessed helicopters also?
So, yeah, I haven't released that interview yet.
Well, we're both under strike now, so
Yeah, right.
probably very few people are going to see this video. One of the best things people can do with this video is to email it, like it, share it, send it around. Look, Tropicana has some Prince thing coming. Purple Rain.
A tribute.
Prince tribute show. Oh, I guess it's already here. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's not that good. Or we would have heard about it. So this is full up Las Vegas Strip right here, John.
I'm curious. I want to see if we can say hello to one or two people and see if what people think about coronavirus and see what people think about the Vegas shooting. You know, the bump stocks were just made legal again just this past week.
Well, so here's what I was going to say. Given the timing of things we're going to talk about and the fact that we are time shifting this broadcast to protect our location and safety and all that, people who are seeing it, you know, live, it's the first time it's played, but it's not happening right now. And people seem to have a big, difficult time getting their heads wrapped around that. But if anything major happens, like, you know, between now and the time this broadcasts, so we're not talking about it, people will not be confused. But I got to tell you something. It is Saturday night, and this is empty as hell for Vegas.
Kind of quiet.
This is Ghost Town Vegas.
Ghost
There
Town,
should be
Las
throngs
Vegas.
of people in the street here.
I think as we walk up Las Vegas Boulevard, I think as we get a little bit closer to some of the bigger names, I think we're going to see a little bit more.
Maybe so, but there still should be traffic down here by Tropicana. It's definitely a lower wrong property, but people still come to it. It does business. I mean, it's still on the strip. MGM Grand, definitely.
Now, my favorite part of the MGM Grand is the secret resort tucked in the back.
Right, what's that called again?
That is called the Mansion. And the
We
Mansion
can't get to that.
is not for mortals. So
Let's go over this sky bridge here.
I think we have to go to that sky bridge.
Yeah, across the street.
Yeah.
Wow. See, so this is also people who haven't been, walking Vegas. It's a hell of a journey, I have to tell you. Vegas is something of a walking city, but
Oh, yeah.
it's a unique walking city in that you're walking through casinos. You have to take sky bridges. It is designed to deal with pedestrians, but
People drinking on the street.
yeah, in a unique way compared to other cities around the United States. Vegas is just basically one big adult resort outside. Escalators out. Are we even allowed up there? Yeah, what's going on? Wow, why do they have the escalators off? Escalators are allergic to COVID? Belle Biv DeVoe is going to monetize this stream. They will. Yeah, so it's out of service. The escalator has coronavirus.
I had a little bit left. I didn't feel comfortable pulling them out.
Vegas also makes you really thirsty.
Yeah. I almost did a Joe Biden.
Running up the stairs and smashing
Almost
your face.
tripped. Yeah, almost tripped up the stairs.
Almost tripping
Up
three
the
times.
stairs. Yeah, up the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely low volume for Vegas.
But there are some people here, so it seems like people are coming to Vegas that have been cooped up, and I think the thinking might be,
I don't
if
agree.
not
I
Vegas,
think it looks
where?
very empty. There's usually just, shoulder to shoulder on these things on a Saturday night. This is definitely ghost town style for Vegas. There's nobody back there, dude.
No, it's empty. Let's not enter the hotel.
Well, no, they're not going to want us filming.
Right. Here we go. So none of these work?
Well, yeah.
They're all broken?
Coronavirus, obviously. Escalators are allergic to COVID.
It's bizarre.
No, that makes perfect sense. Everything has to suck. Or it's no,
They all don't work.
yeah.
Huh. It's one way to save on electricity. Turn off all the escalators, your outdoor escalators. They have nothing to do with your guests.
Probably there's so far fewer people here
Uh-huh.
that they're doing things like that. Why run the escalator all day if no one's riding it?
Well, and that escalator doesn't service guests. It services the public. So
No,
who cares?
it's usually the reason they have those things is because it's powerhousing you into the casino, up
Sure.
those stairs, right into the MGM Grand.
Sure.
But I guess nobody's coming, so they turned it off.
So here's Hakkasan.
Oh yeah, you love this place.
Yeah, I sure do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty empty. So weed is legal in Vegas now, and we can definitely smell that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to do another sky bridge, or why don't we continue down the...
Yeah, let's stay on Las Vegas Boulevard. So right now we're on the corner in front of the MGM Grand. And
Yeah, all
across,
the escalators are turned off.
yeah, save money. And across
Wow.
the street is New York, New York. So that's across the street. And these are all MGM properties.
Yeah.
So these are all MGM resorts. And MGM Resorts has sold off its real estate.
Dude.
I forget if it's Black Rock, Black Stone, Black
wow.
something, and then they're renting it back.
Wow, wow, wow.
I like the 3D projection on the building up here. You see the building, the 3D projection?
Oh, that's not 3D projection.
Oh, whatever you call that. What do you call that?
It's just an LED or...
No. Those are projectors. I don't think those are LEDs. Oh, maybe you're right. So this is the American Eagle store at Las Vegas Boulevard. And they have a live webcam up top.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, with a live feed. And you can check that live American Eagle webcam feed. And back here, down this road, that's the mansion.
Don't lie to him, okay, sir?
I ain't gonna lie. That's the mansion. Pretty
A lot
serious.
of gambling
No.
and a lot of stripping up there.
No.
Oh yeah, let them know what's up.
No.
Yeah,
That,
let
that
them
can't be
Tell
real.
us, what's going on up there?
They looking at us.
Uh-oh.
No, you gotta look. You gotta turn it around. Don't look at me, church. Just turn it around. 'Cause
Yeah,
I like
up in
to
there,
get paid.
up in there.
Yeah, I like to
There you go. Up in there.
Yeah, they looking at us.
So back up in here
Oh, now you gonna
is the
ignore it.
mansion.
See, I was
See,
trying
that's
to
the
tell you the
mansion.
truth.
No, it's all good. So that's the mansion in there, and that's where Mayweather Jr. has a place. It's unbelievable, and it's right around the bend in here. I don't know if we want to walk back in there. I don't think so. Let's stay out here on the strip.
Sure.
That's probably the most exclusive place in Vegas.
The makeup is so holy.
Here's a creepy dude.
He's doing like Thriller or something. COVID-19 vaccine test subject, he says. Reject. Yeah, that guy's gonna get us banned from YouTube. Did you see that armed guard outside T-Mobile? That's
Yeah.
pretty extreme.
Yeah?
I haven't seen that before in Vegas. That's like Brazil style.
There's Mickey.
Yeah, I think I'm looking
Wow.
at Iron Man or
I
something
smell
up
quite
there.
a bit of weed.
Yeah, it's all over. So we're seeing a little bit more of a crowd over here.
Right here, let's get some photos.
People waiting in line to go where?
Yeah, good question.
What's the line for? M&M store? M&M store.
Wow. Why are people waiting to go into the M&M store?
I guess M&Ms are yummy.
My goodness, that's a surprise to me. Well, I guess this is what happens when you lock people in their houses for a year. They'll wait in line to see an M&M.
It looks that way.
What is going on in there other than selling you M&Ms? That's ridiculous. Personalize your M&Ms. Wow. Hey, what's Park MGM Nomad? I'm not familiar with that.
Well, that's that whole new Aria and that Cosmopolitan. That's that whole new city thing they built.
Park MGM wasn't there before. That was Aria Cosmopolitan.
I think the Cosmopolitan is over there. Yep.
Shopping mall, city center, or whatever that was. Oh yeah, Italy at Park MGM. See, they got all this fancy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I was so distraught to learn that Fiamma has permanently closed. My favorite Italian restaurant in Vegas, permanently closed. So many restaurants, so many businesses are permanently closed.
People waiting online here for something. What's
what?
this about? I don't know. Across the street? I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah.
It does seem like a bit of a jam.
Yeah, it's to cross the street.
Wow. That's pretty unusual.
There's a Coca-Cola store. So I was reading.
Also keep in mind it's spring break. There should be
That's right.
a ton
lot of young
people
people
here.
Speaking of which, I read that the Hard Rock Hotel has closed.
Oh
And
my God!
Yeah,
really?
so that whole, what was that pool party they used to do?
Wow, that's surprising to me.
That's closed, and now it's a Virgin Hotel.
Oh, I did see that they said the Virgin Hotel was open. Wow. I'll tell you, man, I've been coming to Vegas for like 4 decades. I remember when that Hard Rock Hotel was the new cool thing a long time ago. Well, and here's the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yep.
Not connected to the hotel. The dude was eyeballing us.
Yep. You're famous.
Here's LVMPD to the rescue. Oh wow,
What?
that's where you can find Hunter Biden.
Oh, the crack shack.
Exactly. What's going on in there?
I don't know. Can you smell the
What
crack
could
from
they? I was
here?
gonna say, what could they possibly be selling in there that's on the up and up? The crack shack.
The crack shack. Here's Target.
So we're just sort of wandering now, John. I think we might be getting perhaps close to the end of our broadcast.
All right.
Anything else on your mind that you want to cover about the Vegas shooting?
Yeah, I mean,
we're
it's good to see people out on the street. It's a little strange seeing people walking around outdoors with masks on.
I'll tell you, actually, one thing that's worth discussing
Yeah.
is that we're so far down the strip now, we're approaching the Bellagio and Planet Hollywood. There were shootings in these places. How
Yes.
could they possibly have occurred? That's one of those anomalies that was just so extreme that it just got totally ignored because there's absolutely no explaining that.
Correct.
Right? I mean, there's Bellagio right there.
And it's past Aria. I mean, it's on the
That's what I'm
far
saying.
side
There's
of Aria.
so many buildings in between.
Well, that's why they tried to downplay the fact that there were shots fired at Bellagio and that glass was broken. All that was downplayed. All that video was swept under the rug because as soon as you have that type of evidence, it breaks the narrative. It destroys the narrative.
Here's the funny thing. Jake was onto that kind of stuff early. So, I mean, how does that jive with him,
I don't know.
deliberately spreading lies to try to shut you and I down?
It's right. I mean, every now and then, he and a couple of these other characters
That's
would
Rihanna's
drop.
monetizing our video.
Yeah, exactly. So every now and then, not only him, but some of these other characters would incorporate an aspect of truthful reporting. He's not the only one that's done this, right? And they'll mention something that is legitimate, and it gives some legitimacy. In other words, everything that these social engineers are reporting, it can't all be nonsense. Otherwise, it would
You
be
don't
like
pay
reading
attention to
a
them at
fairy
all.
tale. Some of it has to be based in reality.
Right.
So that's what they do. And if 60, 70, 80% is reality, they can then pepper it with their nonsense, and now nobody can figure out what's what.
I also think in his case, he might have been one of these people who started out trying to do the right thing, And he got too close to something to the extent that he got sued or,
I don't know.
you know, taken aside and somebody said to him, hey, we're either going to financially kill you or you're going to work for us.
Hard for
Something
me to
like
give
that.
him the benefit of the doubt after the way he spoke to me.
Yeah,
so.
no, he's a jerk for
Wow,
sure.
look at this. This is something else over here. This is kind of...
That's City Center.
yeah, I haven't seen that. Again, I haven't been here in 10 years.
The Aria and the Cosmopolitan are definitely incredible. When I was working in LA, somebody gave me a comp to the Cosmopolitan. I guess this is a virtual reality ride that's out of business. No, people are still doing this despite the pandemic.
Come on.
I don't understand how this can stay in business. But anyway, somebody gave me a comp to the Cosmopolitan. It was beautiful. There's a lot of people out, but compared to normal Vegas, no.
But compared to Shreveport,
I mean, the fact that you can see the ground here
yeah,
is very unusual.
right.
But
Usually
compared
it's
to Shreveport,
absolutely
there's a lot of
packed.
people.
Yeah. You can't even walk through here.
Right.
Right. It sounds like a Thai disco. This is the kind of music they play in all the Thai places.
David Copperfield is getting chased by dinosaurs now.
Brad Garrett.
Yeah, he's got a comedy club there. Or maybe a residency or something. Here's the plug. That's funny.
Hey, make sure you give them my number.
Goodness. It's a lot funny. A lot of people in Vegas want to be on camera. Wow, that place smells strong. Holy crap, dude.
Smell it.
I
from
guess,
there.
are you allowed to smoke in there?
I don't know. But
That's amazing. That smells amazingly strong. Dude, they're like blowing weed smell
Yeah,
out
yeah,
into
yeah.
the street. Like the movie theater with the popcorn. That's so funny. Vegas is so funny. Look at that. Beef Wellington from the Aria. Wow. So that's interesting. We got a lot of weed stores along here now, just right out on the street. They don't mind, kids, whatever.
well, I mean, the good news here is that these businesses are not boarded up, right?
That's true.
They're not boarded up. They're open. People
You're
are
right.
walking up and down. I mean, I don't know how much they're selling at Tom Ford across the street or Louis Vuitton. I don't know how much business they're doing, but at least there's some kids out on the street. And,
Playing weed.
indeed.
Oh, actually, now Cuomo is saying that they're
Amazing.
going to legalize weed in New York.
Hey, you're good. I was just trying to go.
Careful, watch your step.
Dude, it's all weed stores.
I'm pleasantly surprised at the
And a
level
bliss.
of activity.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I realize it's not back to normal,
No, but
but
it's better than nothing.
yeah, people at least are coming out.
What do you want to do? Cross the street?
That's
Dude,
a
these
time-
LED screens have gotten super.
Actually, let's not cross the street.
I think we might be getting close to the end of this broadcast. What do you think?
Yeah, why don't we start heading back and let's see how long your batteries last and
Sure.
when you want to.
Well, we should at least cross the street if we're going to do that. It's a whole project.
Yeah, it sure is.
We haven't even seen like Caesars and Bellagio. We gotta go.
Well,
further.
Bellagio's right there. If you want to go
Let's
to
go
Bellagio,
down there
yeah,
and-
maybe we wrap it up at the Bellagio fountain.
People are gonna want to see the fountain and everything.
All right.
You know, it's a crowd pleaser. But this is just it. It takes a lot longer to get around Vegas than you'd expect. Now, so one thing I wanted to say. When I was living in LA, you know, you'd come to Vegas for the weekend all the time. Vegas, when I was living in LA, was really experiencing a boom because, you know, it had a lot of problems, I think, after the subprime mortgage deal. But Vegas was like LA's man cave, right? You would just come here for the weekend, party and everything. And one thing that was just universally loved about Vegas was free parking in all the hotels. And then they took that away. They started charging for parking. I couldn't believe it. And I think the premium hotels still do. But you and I just parked in a junker place that's back to free parking.
You know, market conditions are going to dictate
Yes.
pricing and availability and all that.
People
I'm
can
guessing
see
that
the
prices
traffic.
have come down. And
Well, hotels are cheap right now.
don't trip over this person. Right, so prices have come down because demand
Yeah,
is low.
Vidara is the other hotel
Yeah.
in there. So Vidara, Cosmopolitan, Aria, they're all nice.
Now, I read a story, I don't know if it's true, it could be speculation or what have you, but I read a story that the security guard,
Here, we got to go down over here.
this way, down the steps, the security guard from MGM Grand, Jesus Campos,
Oh yeah.
was given a condominium at the Vidara by MGM
Why would that be?
for his, you know, his bravery and blah, blah, blah. So I believe he was given
Smells like lamb chops.
a condo at MGM. So, you know, that could
Do we
be
know if that's
hearsay, but I think I saw a photograph of him inside with his brother or his cousin, something like that.
Remember that weird guy, Troy, whatever his name was? That guy, Troy, remember him?
I pay the cost, we gon' have for the better man. She's on the other side,
Here's where we just
That's good parenting right there.
There we go. All right.
Man, Taco Bell is It's like, remember
That's a hot spot.
Remember that
Taco
Sylvester Stallone movie where Taco Bell is the most popular restaurant? And the president invites him to dinner at Taco Bell? Did you see that movie?
No, no. I don't see movies.
It's a very old one.
Yeah.
All right,
There's
so
Marquee, nightclub, day club.
that's a crazy place. I've been in there. Oh, at least they have the escalators turned on over here. These are the higher, we're in the higher rent district now.
Exactly. They want you to come across the street.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing in Vegas happens if it's, you know, it's like incremental percentages of money. So obviously they're saving money by turning off that escalator or it wouldn't be off. So there you go, Caesar's Palace down here, Bellagio, Paris.
So there was video footage of a woman from Bellagio who said that there were shots fired and that the front windows were broken.
Right.
And
I mean,
that
how is that
security
explained?
shut everything down. So certainly, why don't we come down this way, Jace? Jace, you want to come down here?
Sure. Yeah. I was just looking at Chick-fil-A, which kind of amazes me because I think it tastes terrible and people love it and it's super popular.
They're very loyal fans.
It's just so damn dry and salty.
I can't say I've had it more than maybe once. All right, so we're coming up to the Bellagio Hotel. So
We may not coincide with a performance of the fountain, but we might.
a performance of what?
The fountain.
I hope
Haunted
so.
museum.
Best attraction. Zach Bagan,
That might be interesting and creepy.
Haunted Museum. No access. Use sidewalk.
Wasn't there also somebody getting shot at Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, I think somebody reported gunshots at, I don't know if somebody got shot here, but I think
I
somebody
mean, we're
reported.
so
Oh, it's
far.
ridiculous, yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
And Bellagio, too.
What's that?
And Bellagio, too. There's just no way.
No. The only way, the only explanation is that the shooters were airborne.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was reading an article that Sikorsky just secured a transaction with Saudi Arabia for some UH-60 helicopters. Those are the Black Hawks.
Uh-huh.
And what's interesting is when I started the research, the original hypothesis was that they were little birds because we knew that there were little birds just sitting there on the tarmac in Mesa, Arizona. So it's kind of obvious. But then when we spoke to the dog walking guy,
He said he saw
he's
Black
like, no,
Hawks.
no, no. He says they were Apaches. The other guy who I interviewed said,
Does he
Black
know
Hawk.
helicopters?
Yeah. And he said, no. He's like, those weren't little birds. He says there may have been little birds there, but that's not what I was looking at. And so he and I started talking about how these things may have been like in rotation.
Did you see that?
What was it?
That was an awesome moment. That's
What?
the first time I ever saw a woman catcall at a dude walking down the street,
Yeah.
and he seemed to like it. So let's see. Here's Bellagio.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of walking. What's
I
going
think
on
there's a
here?
lot of people lined up in front of that fountain.
But what's going on here with these signs?
You see the helicopter coming behind Bellagio? So there's a helicopter flying behind Bellagio that's returning from a tour. So it's not that strange for there to be a helicopter on the backside of Bellagio. Right? That's not so out of the ordinary. But for a helicopter to be here on Las Vegas Boulevard,
Do you want to talk to any of these people holding signs?
no, not the ones holding signs. No.
Why not?
Those are the ones I don't like to talk to. I'll talk to anybody who's not wearing a mask. If they're wearing a mask, they're already too scared. I don't want to scare people more.
Wow, look at that Bordeaux chocolate macaron. That was amazing. Vegas is just the picture of decadence. Japanese smoked whiskey. Who smoked all the whiskey?
Good question. All right, we're going to cross as soon as we get the light. We're going to be walking across Las Vegas, but here we go.
I mean, isn't this amazing, man, how much time it takes to walk around Vegas? "30-second lights. It's like a wall of people coming at you. But it's still not as many as would normally be here. It's like a short wall.
Right. There's the fountain off to our right, the Bellagio fountain.
We did a 3D shoot with a drone over the Burj Khalifa fountain, which I think is
Wow.
designed by the same company or the same guy or whatever. But in typical Dubai fashion, it's like 3 times larger.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a little bit over this fountain.
So the Burj Khalifa cost 1.5 billion to build.
I think Samsung designed it.
1.5 billion to build the building.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of
They
money,
sell
but
condos in it and stuff, and there's a hotel in there.
They want 100 times that to open the schools in the United States. 100 times that to open the schools. So in other words, that they're telling us is that to open the schools safely for children
They could
in the
put
United
every
States,
school in the United States inside that Burj
well, what they're
Khalifa.
saying is we need as much money and as much manpower as it would take to build 100 Burj Khalifas.
I cannot believe that.
I don't understand how that's possible. How is that possible if there's only 72 dead, 72 kids, right? So if there's only 72 kids dead, why does it cost 150 billion, 180 billion to open the schools?
That is our nature. That's what God saves us from, is that nature that rebels against Him continually.
Hey,
The
we
nature
have 3
that
minutes.
calls against God and to refuse
Power Ranger, what is he? He's some
You want to come in here?
game that I should know.
Step aside in here.
This could take a half an hour until it starts. Oh, no swimming.
How often does this thing go off?
I don't know. Oh, maybe in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
It says no swimming. It doesn't say anything about fishing. You have your rod? No. In the car?
Too many fish in there.
Should take a couple casts.
And maintain 6 feet from other guests. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
So we have Bellagio Street in front of us and the Bellagio Fountain. Caesar's Palace is off to our right. So there's Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this was like in the 90s when the Bellagio came around. It was a real kind of revitalization of Vegas.
Yep.
Caesar's Palace has had a number of upgrades, but the Mirage, I think, was one of the first like themed hotels. And I think it was Steve Wynn who created it. You know, he first made his money. He was parking cars at Caesar's Palace, and a vacant lot came up for sale next door, and he bought it and made it a parking garage.
Smart move. So the Mirage was the beginning, and then from there, he built an empire. And then he got canceled. Steve Wynn got canceled.
What happened with him?
I think he said something lewd, and they threw him out of his own company.
Really?
I don't know the full story, but he got canceled. Yeah, Steve Wynn is out.
So this thing has got to start in about a minute, I would think.
All right.
The music's going silent. I think here we go.
Here we go. Look at that.
Ruffy! Bro!
This will now monetize the stream for Bellagio.
That's all right.
It is.
They need help. They're going up.
Good light, baby.
got the next line. Oh, that's the okay, well, then
Right? Hey, Johnny. Oh, wait, I think it's okay.
you have a background or down?
Huh? No, actually, it's the solo kit. I broke it because my parents hit. So I have to.
Jess! Jess!
Look at these. My best friend. I'm sending it to her.
She's from the Vegas.
I know she does, but
She won't come.
she wants to. She will make it. I have faith in her. She will make it. Oh my God! Look at the tire!
Dang.
Yeah! I know. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, Jason, this has been one heck of an episode.
Oh God.
I can't thank you enough for inviting me here to Vegas to meet you.
Oh, I'm glad you made it again.
It's good to be here. Good to be here.
Right? Haven't said
Why don't we head back to our car?
Yeah, I
and,
think
we'll wrap it up.
you know what? I want to
Yeah. I think we've covered it here. The Bellagio. Yeah, we almost missed the end there.
Oh my goodness.
All right, well.
I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to remind everybody to catch John Cullen Investigates.
I came to talk to you about the gospel of your salvation.
I want to remind everybody to watch John Cullen Investigates Fridays on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen and patreon.com/IamJohnCullen. And if you're enjoying this road trip, you can sponsor Crowdsource the Truth by going to crowdsourcethetruth.com and sponsoring the Counter Lawfare Fund, or by going to subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night.